A woman sent me a message a couple of days ago. She said her husband is trying to divorce her and leave the relationship. I responded, is there any violence or any abuse in that relationship? She said her husband is a very good man. Men don't leave. If a man decides to leave you, you are a terrible person. Obviously, I don't like going into people's personal life, so I don't really have that time. And I asked, how long have you guys been married for? She said 5 years. Okay, what is the problem? Men don't leave. She said they no longer have sex like they used to. Okay, if a man lives in the same house with you, he's going to make the move to touch you, for sure. When was the last time? Did you initiate? She said she did not. Okay. Did he? She said yes. Okay. When was the last time you guys had sex? She said 2.5 years ago. Before I continue, I feel the need to say this. Sex is not just for pleasure. Sex is an investment to that relationship. Intimacy, listening skills, masculine intelligence, emotional intelligence, femininity intelligence, all this accommodation, all these things are investment towards the forwardment, towards forwarding that relationship. It is an investment. Sex is very, very important. I recommend sex every day. Every day. Life is designed to keep you guys trapped in your head. To think that you have more problem than the other person. Sex, kissing each other, touching each other is very, very, very important in that relationship. It is a glue. Remember, the grass is green where you water it. Before I would have sent her a Zoom call link to have a one-on-one call. I was just, okay, let's leave it right there. I am going to make a clip about this. A relationship that grows, when you see two lovers that are doing well, take it from me, they are having a lot of sex. We are all grown-ups here. Sex is important for couples. They are having a lot of sex. A lot of sex. To keep renewing that fire. I recommend sex in the morning, middle of the night, before we sleep. When I walk past you, I can rub your back. I can hold your hair like this. In previous contents, you know how I talk. Make it an habit of holding your woman's hair like this. Majority of you, all these small boys. And all these girls, no, don't touch my hair. Shut up. Hold her hair like this. Apply some force to it a little bit. Kiss her neck. I'm not in the mood. What do you mean by you're not in the mood? You have to look at it like an investment towards the betterment of that relationship. Before I told her I was going to make a video about this, I responded to her. I said, if your son told you that his wife did not have sex with him for 2.5 years, how would you feel? And this is one thing that blows my mind. Women will do silly things like this. I mean, they will not allow their husbands to touch them because they are not in the mood. Or they are meant to touch them because they are not in the mood. And they will say the man has to still play the game of monogamy. Seriously? For one, men are not designed to play the game of monogamy. Men are polygamists. But we are in a modern time. I believe if you have sex with that man constantly, the bigger percentage of men have too many life problems. They are not going to look another woman in the face. But for now, cool down. She told me a bunch of stuff. She said that her husband travels a lot for work, but she noticed that when he comes into town, he calls her that, okay, I'm in town, but I'm still outside doing some business with my friends. I will come back So he usually comes back to the house a couple of days after he comes back to the city. So she said that, okay, I think he's having an affair. You get me? But that one did not even freak out. He's been doing that one for the past 1.5 years. But that one did not freak her out. It's when he gave her that divorce paper that I don't want to do this no more. I think he has met somebody. You don't always have to wait for the house to burn out before you get fire execution. Fire execution. Execution. You get the point. You get the point. If you ask any woman what they expect from a man, safety and security is everything. Men learn this. You can give a woman all the accommodation, all the money, all the wealth. Safety is very, very important. And safety for a woman is emotional. What do you think safety is for men? Let's switch this into a tidbit talk. Let's dive into this for real. Let's dive in. Women will say that men should be able to express ourselves emotionally. If you want to have sex with a woman, if you leave it to the man will kiss you a little bit like this. And after that, he put prick straight. What does that mean? When you kiss a woman and touch her for a couple of seconds, she's going to get wet. But if you have experience with women, you know that just because she's wet after a couple of kisses, that does not mean her body is ready for penetration. You know how it is, right? Come on now. For OBs. Well, you guys should just cool down. Listen, that does not mean our body is ready for penetration. You have to do a lot of foreplay before our body is ready for. Preferably, she orgasms at least one time before you penetrate. The emotional landscape of men was taught to me by my mother. I used to be not just an introvert or chronic introvert. I don't talk. And I don't enjoy talking. My mother will ask me, how are you feeling today? I'll just say, fine. What did you do? I'll just say nothing. So she started telling me about her stories, her day. And then she would say, now it's your turn to tell me. And then I would talk a little bit. She would say, tell me more. You get me? Little by little, without her even asking, I started opening up. Now, a lot of women, they did this successfully for their men. But when those guys, this is where a man will become almost like a child to a woman that has allowed him to open up to that level. Some women will say he's no longer masculine. If you want your man to be emotionally vulnerable with you, you have to be matured enough to accommodate your man on that level. One of the most detrimental things you can do to a man is turn him down. I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. What do you mean by you're not in the mood? We're talking about investment towards that relationship. Like, what does that mean? Do you think the things that men do for women in relationship, you think we are in the mood to do it? No, we are not. We do it because we just love you and we know it's going to make you happy. That's the truth. That is the truth. The bigger percentage of men have been trained just to listen to women. Men are problem solvers. We want to solve your problems, but we have been trained to just listen to you, even though we know the answer to your problems. But to just listen to, do you know how disciplined we have to get? You're complaining about something, but we just listen to you without giving you that solution. And women will say, we don't want your solution. Men are trained to just do that. And that quietness, that calmness, it is an investment that betters that relationship, because women, we know that they don't necessarily need your solution. She just wants to rant. Why can't you just do the same thing? The emotional landscape of men is different from you. It is different from you. When we go out and we come back, or when we are in the presence of our women value eye contact like this. Women value touching. You get me? Holding the lower back of her body. Women value all those things. When you walk past smacking her ass, you get me? Holding her almost like you're guiding her around where she can be soft. And my woman, for example, will tell me that I love you because you set the tone in the relationship of what is allowed and what is not allowed. I'm going to tell you. This is how I like to be loved. I'm going to tell you. You can do the same thing for your relationship. And to that woman that reached out to me, I think I should say this to you. The priority of that relationship is you two. You and your husband. Your children comes next. She said because they had a child. And so, she said because they had a child, so, she's no longer in the mood. What does that mean? Just because you're not in the mood. Think about this for a second. Just think about it for a second. You want something from your husband and he cannot afford it. You still want him to go and figure it out and get it for you, right? When a man wants sex, as long as you're not sick, you have to view it like an investment towards that relationship. Both of you will enjoy it now. This is this is where I kind of do not understand, relationship with some people. But I said my own piece. Yeah, I said my own piece. And if you don't want to scatter that relationship, if you don't want that man to explore other options, especially if that man is doing well financially, he's going to explore those options. Once you start, what is the point of being a rich man? There was one guy like that. You guys, OGs of the platform, you remember that man from, I believe, 2023 or 24. That guy that lives in the United Kingdom. The guy that rides a Rolls Royce. He has a Rolls Royce, a Lamborghini, and Range Rover. He said his wife used to, when he wants to sleep with his wife at night, his wife would do this. I won't be me, Yahweh, man. Some women are just silly. It would never make sense to me. And she did that for a couple of months. The man said he used to masturbate in the bathroom. Megida, a rich man. Who should be sucking his prick even when he's sleeping? Who should be making the move? You have to understand something. Everything in this life, you have to give if you want to take. If you want that man to be at your thumb like this, sex, you have to give it to him abundantly. Maybe you don't have a female mentor that will tell you the truth. You have to make your body accessible to him like this. If he's taking care of the house, if he's taking care of you, if he's doing everything well, you have to give it to him. You're not going to deprive a man of sex and tell him that, no, I don't want you to see other people. You are dumb. But may I say my piece? Now, I feel the need to say this to that woman that reached out to me. If you want your husband to come back, you have to go and get him. Majority of all these women are filled with pride. He's probably seeing somebody else. I said this in previous content, the bigger percentage of men do not want to play the field. It is these women that push good men out there into the streets. Most married men, they just want sex with their wife. Why would I marry you? Why would you be my girl and sleep with you in the same bed? We live in the same house and I can't touch you. I'm not in the mood. I can't even put my head around it. What does that mean you're not in the mood? It's almost like I have this 50% in this software company, in this product, and I have a co-founder in that company, and he's doing amazingly well. If I call him 11 o'clock at night, he better picks up. And if he does the same thing to where he will call me one at night, and I will respond. Because I know that, okay, if the company falls, we lose money. The same thing with relationship. You have to view it like an investment. An investment, a lot of you become lazy once you have the man. Now she's afraid that the guy is going to divorce her. Or there. Or there. In English is foolish. Or there, that is a foolish woman. You have to, in this book, The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Robert Greene said, the most supreme art of seduction is to detach a man from his reality. Majority of you forget the power that you have. When a man steps into your domain as a woman, it should come into, it's almost like he's stepping outside of reality. So that means he can leave the house and go into the world and go and make money. Once he comes back home, everything around him has to be like an illusion. Like, that is not the time for you to start nagging. That is not the time for you to start, you did not take the trash out. That is not the time for you to start doing anything. Everything has to be like he's in heaven. That is the time for you to be wearing that bomb short, that tight clothing, that thing that reveals Soto. That is the time for you to be pampering him, asking him, do you want this? Do you want that? They can't be teaching you everything. These are the works of your mother. Your mother should know all these things. That is not the time to start nagging and complaining and all that. That is the time to massage. That is the time to hold his hands, to ask about his day. How was it? Okay, I did this too. That is the time to be soft. That is the time to program that man. I mean, you don't know that you can program a man. Sote, no woman can ever take your place. That is why Robert Greene said, you detach a man from his reality. That is the most superior art of seduction. Oh, he said supreme. That is the most supreme art of seduction. You don't understand? And after you have programmed him, this is where you get to ask him for anything. Anything. Now, when the relationship has scattered, you will come and meet Fowobi. Fowobi, help me. What can I do? You go and beg him. You go and beg that guy. You go and beg him. You plead with him. I don't think you guys know what abuse is. You don't know what it does to the psyche of a man. I married you. We are in the same house. And I taught you. You say you don't want to have sex. It's one thing to do it for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2.5 years. And he's still paying the bills in that house. You're not a good person. You're a bad person. Obviously, I'm not going to message you like that, but I make content and I'm telling you, you are a bad person. You are not a considerate person. You are very inconsiderate. That stuff, ignoring your man, depriving your man of sex, it breaks down the confidence of men. Yeah. And the fact that he's not even fighting you, he's going to come, he's going to sleep beside you and still take care of you and the family. You should know that you have a good man. You have a good man. Continue to be well. Go and beg that guy, Wallo, or go and beg him. Yes. Invite him back. Seduce him. You know what to do now. Oh, can short there now. You know what to do. Go and beg him. But check. Fowobi, calm down. Cool down. Go and beg your husband. Go and plead with him. Plead with him. Tell him that you're sorry and you value the relationship. You don't want the relationship to end. Tell him how much you love him. Tell him you're very, very sorry. Tell him that you don't mean to be inconsiderate. Because you are inconsiderate. Why would I want to have sex with my wife, with my girl, with my woman, and she will say no to me for 2.5 years? If you're my mother and I come to tell you that my wife, I have not had sex with my wife for 2.5 years. 2.5 years. If you yourself are not having, I think you have somebody else. Yes. I think you have somebody else. Or maybe you have your way of masturbating in the house. You know me. It must be tough. It must be tough. Lord, bye-bye. I'll be well. I'll go get out.